Greetings, Sanbonani, Dumelange, Abusheni. Hello out there once again. It's your boy AKAY coming to you with episode number 19 of the Real Talk with AKAY. And on today's episode, I'm actually joined by one of those special guests. I'm actually joined by Dr. Maposa as we are about to engage on the International Cooperative Day that was on the 3rd of July this month. And I think we're still celebrating it this month. So without wasting any further time, I'll actually start off the show by giving Dr. Maposa the opportunity to just give us like a short background of who he is and what he's doing at the moment. So, Dr. Maposa, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I am good. Thank you very much, Akan, and all the listeners and viewers. As you have already said, I'm Dr. Stanley Maposa. I am a social science specialist, and my work is around youth participation and gender-based violence and leadership. Those are the three research areas that I am working on in everything that I do. I also do on a weekly basis a leadership lessons course. I am a writer and author of books and a musician, and I do quite a number of other things with the church.
Welcome to the show. It's an honor having you here, sir. Let's just kick off the show by me asking, okay, for someone out there who doesn't know, what's a cooperative and what's this whole International Cooperative Day is all about. What will you say, what is International Cooperative Day like? What is it all about?
The International Cooperative Day is one of the days that are within the month of July. We know that 18 July there will be Nelson Mandela International Day. There will also be the International Population Day, and there is also this International Cooperative Day. And as part of the education that we're giving to the listeners, it is recognizing the power, the purpose, the history of cooperatives. And the history of cooperatives, I think for me, begins here in Africa, where people of Africa were working together through what we call in isiZulu ilima, where if you don't have cattle, people would come in your farm and help you so that they alleviate poverty from your side by ensuring that you also get something by working together with others. So cooperative comes from the word cooperation or integration or working together with others.
Because I actually, when I was busy preparing for the show, when I was busy just doing a short research, I actually realized that the theme for this year was actually based on rebuilding together.
Yes.
Rebuilding better together.
Yes.
So I would actually like to find out the whole in terms of the history, how it actually started and what was the main drive behind this day, this initiative. Because I actually saw there's a part where they said the UN actually started endorsing it. It was at a later stage somewhere there.
Yes, you are very right. I think the theme rebuilding together shows that we can do a lot of things by taking advantage of the gifts and the skills of another person. And obviously the UN endorsed it late because most of the cooperatives come from the socialist point of view, where the Russians and the Chinese invented this cooperative thing and brought it to become a recognized sort of kind of issue where people would gather together in the communities and would say, let us be builders together. One is a painter and the other one is a plumber, and the other one is a carpenter, and the other one is a roofer, and the other one is a tiler. And they say, the five of us, let us create a cooperative so that when we get business from government or from private sector, we'll be able to utilize these 5 skills to build something together. So in other words, it's like saying it's humility, and it's also an issue of empathy, to say, I don't have the skills that you have, Akani. So let's work together so that we can be able to form this company, which is called a cooperative, that can be recognized and start to ask for tenders and ask for businesses to employ us as a team, not as an individual, because there's no one who's gifted with 5 things. But if we put in 5 people, we can form a company that is made up of 5 different skills.
I hear you, sir.
Yeah.
So in terms of like this whole cooperative organizations, in most cases they exist in South Africa. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
But then they, in most cases, like from what I've picked up, is that they don't even survive that long in most cases. What would you say like it's the reason behind that, like them not being able to actually survive for more than 2 years at least?
I think the most critical thing is greed, and secondly is the failure to explain what a cooperative is. Greed in the sense that somebody who's much more clever organizes these 5 people that I have said, and then he uses these people because some of them are illiterate, they can't be able to write, and he becomes the face of this cooperative, and he goes around, gets the tenders, and doesn't give these people. He becomes the chairperson, the treasury, the finance manager, the administrator, and these people are used. He gets a lot of money, and he gives them only 1,000 rands when he got 1 million from the tender process, and that then kills the people when they discover that so much money was given and so little has been given to them. In other words, they are no longer a cooperative. They are employed by this person.
Yeah, they're working for that guy. I think corruption is a problem, especially with like these organizations. Like they tend to be like a problem. Like you're saying in most cases, because like we've also been in such situations, but with NPOs on the other side. As when we own NPOs, where you get like, okay, we are here with one goal, but then going forward, it's more like this guy just saw money, and then it's more like I'm out of here. Yan will stay with the organization. So it's interesting. Like for me, like, so for someone out there who has interest in this whole starting like a cooperatives, what would you say it's more like the process to the application process and everything? How do you go about
setting one? It's almost the same as the NPO, as you said. You sit down, you agree on a constitution, you agree on the roles and responsibilities, who is going to do what and where, what are the skills that I'm bringing in, and you write a document which is almost similar to the NPO, as you are saying, and then you present it to the company's organizations, the CIPRO. And then they begin to say, okay, fine, here are the forms you sign, and your cooperative is properly registered, so that it has a number, that this is cooperative so and so, it has a name, and the name is different from others. And then you start to operate. You are recognized as a cooperative, and then you can start to look for tenders or look for organizations that will assist you, and you do the work. So the critical part is on the documentation and understanding the roles and responsibilities of each and every person that is in the cooperative. And that's where things then go wrong, to say somebody becomes the face and the spokesperson, and the others are not active, and this becomes their company in such an instance.
So in order just to avoid like such cases, if maybe, for instance, right now, me and us now, we just decide to venture out into a cooperative, how do we avoid like such problems from arising in future? Because I feel like, okay, it's nice that we are talking about them, but we actually need solutions to prevent such things from actually happening in future. So what would you say like some of the solutions that we could use?
I think the critical solution is transparency. Transparency, that when we start this thing, we establish from the word go that we are starting this thing together, and I cannot do it without you. And then the Ubuntu principle of you are because I am. Let us work together so that we strengthen ourselves and we work together as an organization. The second thing is accountability. Are we accountable to one another? While there may be a leader of the cooperative, but there should be a governance structure that says everybody is accountable for another one. And if we're not very sure, we can also engage the services of a legal practitioner. We can come and say, okay, here is your constitution. Is it in line with the requirements of the Cooperatives Act? Is it in line with how you should address it in the government spaces and in the registration processes? And then we are sure that this thing there's a legal stamp or there's a legal eye in it. I know that people will say out there, lawyers are expensive. Where will I get money to engage a lawyer? There are some lawyers that are government lawyers that can come through. Or we have friends, we have brothers, we have Christian brothers. We can just have a look and say this thing is really aligning and make sure that we will not have these problems in the future. And when we have problems, we can still go back to that legal advisor.
Yeah. You heard it. That's transparency, accountability.
Yeah.
Those two factors actually matter when you're busy starting like a cooperative. So I heard that you actually mentioned something about the requirements for forming a cooperative. And I think like I came across some of them because I actually did business at school. So
Yes.
I think we did like a chapter on it. But they actually mentioned like a few requirements.
Yes.
It was in that broad. And I think one of the requirements was, I think for you to form a cooperative, it needs to be like 1 to 5 people.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. So it will be an honor for you to actually touch on some of those other requirements that they don't actually tell us when we are busy like applying, but then you get to see them once the cooperative is running. There you're like, oh, I missed this, and it was supposed to be important.
Yeah, you're right. It's 1 to 5 people. Not 1, it's 2.
Oh,
because
oh,
1
oh,
you are not, you can't be a cooperative. You are 2 to 5 people, and that's already showing the accountability, that these people will be accountable to one another. The second thing is to write a constitution that says what is this organization's name, what is the vision of this organization, and how are we going to run our money, who's going to be leading, who's going to be the chairperson, the vice chairperson, the treasurer, all those roles and responsibilities. And then the third thing is to download the application form or go to the company's register, and they'll give you the form, and then you fill in the form. But then you also attach almost a business plan. A business plan is really what is the idea behind this whole thing, what is the niche of this thing, what is it different from others, and then also the name that you are proposing, what's the name of the cooperative, and they will look into the system to be sure that there is no duplication of the name, and the IDs, of course, the proof of residence of the 5 people. Where do they reside? Are they real people? Because sometimes you open up an organization using names that don't exist, and when they are looking for IDs and they are looking for proof of residence, they are looking to make sure that these are real people, and they exist, so that they put them in there, and then there will be some small administrative fees that is required. I'm not sure on the top of my head how much is it, but a small administrative fee to be able to say we are paying for this organization to be registered and on an annual basis. When you are operating, you are required then to be submitting reports and to be submitting also some money. I think it's around 100 rand to be able to ensure that this cooperative runs and it can be deregistered from the system.
Yeah, I'm actually learning a lot, because like I've also on my side, it's more like an idea that's still there, like, okay, I need to form like a cooperative. I've also told some of my friends that this is something that I want to venture in, because at the end of the day, it's more like a group of people pulling their resources together.
It really creates employment, because a company may be started by one person. It's your business, you are alone. An NPO may be started also by 5 people, similar, but it doesn't require profit. But a cooperative can make profit, and therefore the 5 of you benefit, or the 10 of you benefit. So the more the cooperatives are formed in this country and they are run properly, they can solve the unemployment problem. Because our problems in South Africa are 3: unemployment, poverty, and inequality. And therefore, these cooperatives are out there to try and solve this problem, despite the fact that people have taken advantage of each other and cooperatives in the process, as we discussed earlier.
So yeah, in terms of like this whole cooperative thing and how it comes to be, I've understood those parts, But then there, like in terms of this organizations, well, in most cases, there seems to be like one challenge, funding challenges.
Yes.
And I think it's one of the reasons like most organizations don't make it in the future. So like I would actually like to find out from you, like what are some of these funding challenges that they tend to encounter or might encounter if someone actually wants to start a cooperative?
You are very right. Funding challenges exist in South Africa because, as you have indicated, there's corruption somewhere. People are hoarding money and they're not telling people where the opportunities are. But also, the country is big, 60 million people, and everybody forming a cooperative and wanting to be able to be funded. So, what is critical is that you really must make your cooperative very attractive. What is your niche? What is the difference that you are bringing? And therefore, when you present it out there, either you present it to the Department of Social Development, which is responsible for some of these social enterprises. You can present it to whatever department. If it's around communication, you can really present it to the Department of Communication. If it's around cultural issues and traditional issues, the Department of Arts. So then when you have a document now, you can start to look around and say which government departments would require these services that I'm having, or which companies out there, or which individuals out there. And obviously it would need some bit of aggressiveness from the person that is responsible for outreach, marketing and stuff like that, to be able to look, and also look online, because sometimes there are calls that come out to say we are looking for such cooperatives that will work for this and this. The local municipality also is another place that you need to go there and approach, people that deal with community services and say, we have a cooperative, this is what we are doing, and we can be able to help you in 1, 2, 3, 4 areas.
Yeah, nah.
So it means some bit of smart minds.
It needs hands-on people. So if you're there and you're actually thinking of starting this, like you actually need people who are going to be invested in this whole thing, not just people who are going to be there putting signatures on documents there.
and run away. Yeah.
We don't need such people in terms of like when you want to run a cooperative.
Definitely. You need also people that know people, that know other people. And also there's various spaces in the church. If you are in the church, you can go and just advertise yourself and ask from the members who can help us there. If you are at school, you can ask the teachers. If you are closer to a municipality, you can go there. If you are online, we all are online, and many people use online just for Facebook and for other issues. Just check these calls and these opportunities. Yeah.
So instead of like, I think maybe you might be aware at the moment when it comes to us as like the youth, and for me and some of my friends, it's a privilege to actually be interested in running such organizations. But from like township areas, like I actually saw this when it came to cooperatives. I was like, I'm preparing for an interview that I'm going to do, and it's based on cooperatives. Like, can you share some knowledge? People don't even have like an idea of like what's that or what's happening. So how can we actually like get like the youth in townships to actually start taking up interest in being like, there's something like a cooperative, I need to do this? And how can our public entities such like our government actually assist in doing that?
You are very right. This is a start, because as you are sending out this message, many young people in the township and elsewhere will listen to this conversation. But as you are saying, there is more outreach that needs to be done. Community radios are there for that. Community TVs are there for that. But I think the most critical part is that government and other entities still use the traditional media, like the newspapers, and how many young people go there. So going to social media is the space to go now. And that's the niche that you have, that you can sell and say, I am able to do this, and I'm able to touch young people through my social media platforms. Can you please cooperate with me? as government so that we can take this message to the young people out there. And they usually say, set a thief to catch a thief. Younger people talk better language with young people than old people trying to talk to young people.
It seems like we are actually even running out of time. But then I won't lie, it's been like an honor for me to actually sit down and talk about this, even though like I feel like, okay, we didn't actually cover like, okay, other important factors, because like this topic is actually broad, but then it's just time. But then before I actually let you go, I'll just give you like, what's this? The platform for you to just share anything you feel like I should have asked or we might have missed like during our conversation.
Yes.
So without wasting any further time, let me just do so, because I know you're a busy man too.
No, thank you very much, Akani. This issue of cooperatives is very, very critical, and the young people out there need to invest their time on that. See what you can do better and see the other friends that can help you do that. Be humble to learn from others and to work with others, and register a cooperative. And when we have done that, you sell it out and find people that can help you to get the funding that you require. But you can also start small things on your own that you will make your cooperative visible. And the more it becomes visible, the more it will attract people to come in. It may not take a day or a month, but consistency and the love of what you do and going on and on doing something will enable people to start to recognize you. It is what has brought us up as young people and as old people. Our parents used to do what is called STOKVELS, and that was part of a cooperative. And some of us went to school through our parents working together, putting money every day so that we can have food on the table and also go to school. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's been an honor having you, and I think it's still happening in terms of STOKVELS, because like one thing I've realized is that like around townships during the year you'll see like our parents meeting, contributing money, and then December they just go and buy groceries for like what's this, in bulk, and then they share it for the holidays, December holidays. In that way they know they're saving more money and they can get more food. But then sir, it's been an honor having you on the show. So apart from wasting any further time, that's it for this episode. But then I look forward to having you in future, hey, because I feel like this is just short, man.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much.
But apart from that, let me just go home too and then just digest what I've learned today, because like this is like important information. Apart from that, we are signing out. It's your boy AKAY. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Thank you. We are out.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wonderful.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.